What is up, everybody? I don't know if you can tell, but it is snowing today. So on a day like today when the roads are terrible, I don't risk taking the truck out and getting into an accident. I don't provide emergency services or anything like that. So today is just a day to be relaxing, enjoying the snowfall. However, that said, a little while back, a gentleman reached out after having seen that I made a few videos on Symmons shower valve repairs. He works for a company which makes an adapter that fits into an impact driver so that we can take the seats out of those Symmons valves a lot easier than using any of the tools that Symmons makes or easy outs or anything like that. So I've been in contact with him. He sent the tool along. Today is the day. I just got it in the mail, so no better day than to get into the shop and test this tool out and see how it does. So let's get in there and get started. This is a Symmons style valve. This one doesn't have a stem. This is brand new though. That's why it's all nice shiny brass. There's no corrosion happening. We'll open this one up. I'll go over some of the tools that we use to service these valves, and then we'll go and take a look at that new tool and see if there are any pros, any cons, or just see how that tool works. When we're talking about tooling, Symmons makes this style tool, one for the cold seat, one for the hot seat. As you can see, the cold is chamfered a little bit and it's got these nice square edges. Those bite into those machined cuts. I will show you in just a little bit. The hot tool basically just goes straight down. It's square and it will catch into that. There is a little bit of a relief cut right here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it very well. It kind of sticks out. So that's where the seat, it will just kind of bottom out on that so you don't go too far in with it. But that pulls out the hot seat in the back. There are third parties that make this style wrench. It's big, it's bulky, and no real good way of storing it. It's a combo wrench, so you have the cold seat removal tool here, the hot seat. This side is a hexagonal bit for taking out the diverter retaining nut, and then this side is an easy out for pulling out those diverter stems. Traditionally in the past, sometimes those seats are corroded and really stuck in there, so we would use some easy outs. These are cut off so that they don't bottom out and they will dig into specifically those cold seats because they are the larger ones. The hot ones will tend to come out a little easier, but the cold ones can really wedge themselves in there. So we'll use easy outs. So now we have these tools here laid out. Let me just show you briefly how they work in the valve. Okay, so now we have our Symmons valve in the vise. We'll go ahead and crack our bonnet nut open. Usually there is a stem here. This one I robbed, so it is not in there. We'll just pull that out. Now down inside the valve we have two seats. We have our outer seat, which is our cold seat. The cold comes in from the right side up along the outside of the valve body, and then there is a hole right in here. This is our cold seat, and then down in the back, right down here, this flat part, that is our hot seat. The hot comes in from the left side, and you can see where the screwdriver or the pointer comes through. These seats have little machined slots in them. The cold seat has 8. The hot down inside has 4. To get you in for a little bit of a closer view, this flat surface right here is our cold seat. The cold comes in through this port right here. And then all the way down in the back here, this flat seat down here is the hot seat, and the hot comes in right through there. As you can see, there are the machined cuts here in the cold seat, and then down in the back, there are also 4 machined cuts in the hot seat. Okay, so we're here at the valve. I'll go ahead and show you as best I can. Here's our T-shaped tool. The cold seat goes in. It will bite in to those slots. Let's see if we can get one. There's a little bit of wiggle room there. You do have a little bit of leverage with this, but again, I'm putting pretty good pressure on it with just the tool, no wrench, and that cold seat's in there pretty good. If this valve were in PEX, it would be twisting. You have the square tool, which would go down once that cold seat was out, fit into that hot seat, and you'd be able to take that out. Oh, this one doesn't even fit. Look at that. It is very tight. You'd get onto the field out into the field and you'd be pretty upset about that. And then it's got the easy out on the other side for removing these diverter stems. Now, because that tee is a big bulky item, Symmons does make them where it's just square shanks. It's a little more compact. Again, you drop the cold into the cold seat, get yourself an adjustable wrench and pop it out. You're putting some stress on your piping though. Similarly, you take your hot seat tool, drop that down and in, and it will bite into those machined relief cuts, and using an adjustable wrench. We all know, if we've ever dealt with these, that the brass gets corroded, it gets weak, and these little relief cuts are simply not deep enough or heavy enough to overcome the forces that are needed, the torque that is needed to pull these seats out, and they just rot out, strip out, and the seats are stuck in there. That's when these easy outs come in. You'll stick them in, they'll bite, and you can really kind of use some force. It may stretch the valve body out and you're going to have to replace it anyway. It's still not great. You're putting a lot of stress on the plumbing, and you better have some good footing, because if that breaks and you're not ready for it, you'll go flying just as much as everything else. But what we're here for today is not these tools. It is the new tool I just received in the mail. So this tool set is called the Zip Seat Extractor tool set. It comes with the smaller bit here for removing the diverter stems. Our packaging here. We have one bit here and the second one here. Go ahead and open both of these up. So with this first bit, as you can see, we got the nice square head for the hot seat and the bigger square for the cold seat. Symmons does make a different style too, where it is hexagonal, so we also have a second tool. And then of course we also have our 1/4 inch driver bit, which will allow us to interchange between either seat removal tools. So these are all of the tools that exist, as far as I'm aware, on the market for repairing Symmons shower valves. Let's go ahead to that new valve and take a look at the new ones and see how they do. Made by A&Z World. It is made in the USA. I love to see that. It is the Zip Seat Pro. This one is the square shank, which is going to match the seats that we have. We'll just put that in. Again, it fits those relief cuts perfectly. You take your 1/4 inch adapter that they provide, stick that in your end, and you'll put the impact driver on there. This tool is not long enough that it interferes with the hot seat. It fits into the cold but not the hot at the same time, so you can remove either or very easily. So I'm looking forward to trying this. So let's just jump right into it. Okay, let's go ahead and see how this does. Seemed to pop it out pretty good there. Even the new one was in there quite well. You can see where the machined relief cuts were definitely taking some beating there, but it popped it out very quick and easy. A couple torques with the screw gun and she came right out. So let's pull out the cold seat. This might be a little challenging for you to see with the hot seat, being that it's a little farther down in there, but we'll see if it pops it out easy. Oh, that came out very easy. As you can see, that hot seat is just sitting down there loosey-goosey. Pop that out very nicely. Hardly any marks on those relief cuts. That's nice. And if this were in a typical application, this would just come out with the tool, because it would be sitting on the end of it, being that I have it in a vise sitting straight up and down. Gravity is against us there, but that's nice. Let's go ahead and pop our cap off here. We'll take our diverter adapter out. Let's go ahead and use our new extractor tool. Stick that right down in there. That bites very nicely. I used to use a lag screw for this. This is a much better method of doing that. The other nice thing about this is it works in the other way. So you can drop it in. Again, this is going to be a lot easier if you have it in your standard configuration of sticking out sideways. But you can drop your seats in, dope them up, do whatever you have to do. And then I'm just doing that to get started, but then you can put your impact driver on. And if any of you have used an impact driver, you just give it one good click and you know that you're going to be seated pretty well in there. Again, you can do the same thing with your cold seat. Get that doped up nice and well. Go ahead and put that in. I'll just use it for now to make sure we don't cross thread, get it hand tight. Then you can drop it in there with your impact driver. Give it a click. And you know you're going to be nice and snug in there. And that's nice. So even on the reassembly, it looks like it's a good working tool. That's this new tool. It looks like it's working pretty good. I can't wait to try it in the field. I know what all of you are saying is, well, that's great. It's on a new valve. What's it going to look like when you have an old corroded valve? That's where I'm going to really enjoy looking at it in the field, seeing how it works in the field, and seeing what it does, if it's going to be that much better. But my hopes right now are pretty high. It looks like it's going to do a really good job. So that'll be it for this video. I'm actually just kidding, guys. I don't have the ability to do an in-field job today, but I can bring the field to us. After all, I am a plumber. I've seen many Symmons valves. I've also replaced many Symmons valves. So of course, in my scrap pile, I have Symmons valves. So let me grab a few of those. We'll take them apart and see what this does with old valves. Okay, so we got 3 different Symmons valves here, different levels of corrosion. We'll see what the insides look like, and we'll see if our new tooling can handle the challenge. Our first contender up will be this guy right here. Got a little bit of corrosion here. Overall, it doesn't look too bad. Let's pop off the bonnet nut. Oh yeah, that was tight. As you can see, it does move, but it's definitely a little corroded on the inside. If we take a look at our seats in here, you can definitely see there's corrosion. The seats themselves look okay. The hot seat definitely looks a little bit worn. The cold seat looks okay, but we'll see if we can go ahead and get these out easy with that tool. Okay, so this has the 8 and the 4, so we're going to go ahead and go with the square. This typically is the most common that I've come across. Go ahead and put our 1/4 inch adapter in there. Seat that in there. Go ahead and drop our impact on there. And let's go ahead and see how it does. It was snug in there, but it seemed to pop it out without an issue. Nothing got stripped. Let's see if I can get it to focus for you guys here. There we go. As you can see, those, I used that one. They actually still look in pretty good shape, which is surprising. So I'd say so far, this is definitely living up to expectations and passing with flying colors. Let's go ahead down to that hot seat. Locked in. You can see the valve is actually still a little loose in the vise too. That came out no problem. We'll go ahead and pull that hot seat out. Like I said before, this probably would come out very easy if it was horizontal. Maybe I'll actually set the vise up and do one like that. Again, these machined relief cuts, they look great. Let's go ahead and open up our diverter. This one has a white diverter stem, which does a tub and a shower. So let's go ahead. This is actually, you use this driver in forward, like you're actually trying to drill with it. It will bite in and then spin. You pull out, heat up the plastic by spinning it, and it just pops that sucker right out. Like I said, I used to use a lang screw for this very same purpose. It would screw in bite and then start spinning the cartridge. This does the same thing, only it actually goes into a bit, and it's going to have a better grip. The impact driver is going to have a better grip. I won't need to bring the drill in, just the impact driver. So this is going to make it a lot better, a lot quicker, easier, fewer tools. I like it. Okay, so that's this valve done. It pulled it apart, no sweat. So far so good. Let's get into another valve. Okay, quick overview of this new valve. We have corrosion again here at the diverter. This one doesn't show too much corrosion in the actual volume control valve body, but we'll go ahead and pop this off, then I'll spin the vise over and we'll take it out in a more typical orientation. There we go. That bonnet was a stubborn one. So this one really didn't see a whole lot of use. It's probably a newer one, either that or the seats are newer in it. But let's go ahead, we'll flip this over onto its side and we'll see if that'll pull those out easy. Okay, so we are set up in a more classic configuration. Go ahead and get our bit in, come in, make sure we're locked in good, just like so, and see if it'll zip it out. Yeah. Look at that. You can even use the tool. You can even use the tool to pull it right out. Again, those machined cuts don't look bad at all. That's nice. Let's go ahead and get in there for the hot seat. That's a lot less surface area, so that comes out a lot easier, but still it makes quick work of that. Let's go ahead and open up our diverter, pull the retaining nut off, go ahead and pull that adapter off, diverter handle adapter, and we'll see if that pulls it out easy. Okay, now we're on to what I would argue is the worst looking valve of the day. Let's go ahead though and open up this bonnet nut, see what we've got inside. Open up our bonnet nut, pull this out, see what we're looking like inside. So this one actually doesn't look terrible on the inside. It has been used for a little while. You can see some corrosion on the balancing spool. Get you a closer look inside here. As you can see, so I focus on different parts. We do have some good corrosion happening here, but let's go ahead again and do a more traditional orientation. Go ahead and pull that cold seat out. Make sure it's locked in there good, and then give it a hit, or two, or three. That seemed to do pretty well for us though. As you can see, that it's definitely got some good corrosion on it. That could have definitely been a bear to get out using the traditional methods. However, this new tool popped it right out, no sweat. Go ahead, do the hot seat. Again, like a hot knife through butter, it just backed that right out. You can see some of that corrosion flaking off. Yeah, that is golden. That is a time saver. We'll go ahead, pop our diverter. Sometimes these can be the trickiest things to get out. They'll break into a few different pieces. That is one nice thing also about this tool, is that it is small enough that it will go all the way in if this does break. So we put it into forward like we're drilling something in. Screw it in. Spin that cartridge up. Pull out, and it just comes right out. Like I said, sometimes these break, so it being able to go in, pass all the baffling and everything, and get that out is going to be very nice. Just to show you, it can go all the way to the back of the valve, which is excellent. Okay, so as you can see, we've got 3 used Symmons valves, all taken apart using these impact driver removal tools. I did not have one that used the hexed style, but I have no doubt that when I come across one that has that, it will work flawlessly, just as the 4-pointed driver worked. If it can get it out with 4 drivers, then 6 points of contact will be even better. We had a range of corrosion, none of them stripped. They all came out easy. I had not broken any of them beforehand. I don't think it gets any better than that. I cannot wait to use these in the field. So move over, old tooling. Hello, Zip Seat Extractor. No hesitation, Symmons drawer. I will keep the old tools just in case, because you never know, but these have found a new home. So as I said before, these impact driver bits were provided to me for this review. As a plumber who's dealt with many Symmons valves over the years, replacing seats and struggling with the corroded ones, the stripped out ones, I will say that this tool seems to be very, very good at its job. I will be curious to see how it does out in the field, like I said, especially in a situation where the seat has been stripped. Speaking to the rep, they say that it can handle those tasks as well, and seeing how it did with the other valves that we just looked at, I have no doubt that it probably will handle that very easily. Again, as a pro, this is going to be a very valuable tool in my toolbox. If you are a DIYer, I highly recommend getting this, especially if you have multiple properties or you're dealing with Symmons valves all the time. Anyone who owns a Symmons valve knows that those balancing spools do not last forever. Depending on your water, sometimes they last as little as a year, maybe 2. So if you're going to be dealing with these balancing spools and these seats corroding away on you very often, it is a very valuable tool to have in your toolbox. I'll admit I was a little skeptical at first, but after having tried it, not only on the new valve, but 3 used valves as well, I am definitely sold. I'm very happy to have it. So hopefully on one of these upcoming videos, you will see it in use out in the field. This is my first tool review, so if you liked it, got anything out of it, please leave a like down below. Please drop a comment, let me know what you think. If you want one of these tools for yourself, there will be a link down in the description. If you click through that link and make the purchase, I do get a bit of a commission. I would very much appreciate any of you that are interested in getting this tool to use that link. As always though, I really do appreciate you watching. Please remember to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you can be apprised of the next time I upload a video. Your support is greatly appreciated, and I will see you all on the next job. Bye for now.